Hello again, everybody. Thetimix here. Welcome back to Let's Play the Factorio way. And this is episode 2 as we move on from the most basic burner tech that we've set up. Now this loop here took me about 10 minutes to accomplish between getting the coal and going up to grab more iron and then coming back and getting the belts in the assembler and so on. Now the purpose of this here is to just keep the coal going around and around and around so that it doesn't fall off anywhere while we sort of get the stuff into the lab and the assembler. And you can see that, you know, at first it was priming this, then it loads there, and now it's loading this. The idea is that this inserter feeds that inserter, which can move stuff from the assembler into the lab. And as it gradually works its way down, it'll eventually reach the point where it doesn't need to feed in anymore. I'm just going to wait a bit for that. And as always, anything a burner inserter tries to feed with coal, it'll feed 5. It'll feed like 2 into itself and then 5 into whatever back here, and then it will continue, then it'll start ignoring us. So now we're starting to get more into the assembling machine. And so now I don't have to deliver coal. Don't have to deliver coal to these machines, I should say. All I have to do is set down the mining drill, and away it does its thing with this setup. Okay, and then by way of demonstration here, I just want to show the burner or the belt overflow deal because it's going to be such a big part of what I do. Now, if you say that we didn't do a loop and we just let it stack up, and at first it'll just, it'll sit there. And, you know, it will back up for a little bit, which actually is just due to issues with how the mod and 0.16 interact, but then it starts falling off. And you can imagine if you get a full belt of this stuff, it's just going to create a big mess all over the place. So I basically just want to demonstrate that. But at this point, there's nothing else that we can do here. I mean, there's nothing else that we can usefully, like if I tried to spend a whole bunch of time, get a whole bunch of iron, and route these belts over to, say, the iron and the copper field, that'd be kind of pointless. Because I can't build any more drills or any more ore crushers, so that doesn't really achieve a whole lot. Because I've still got to run back and forth relocating them, and as long as I'm going to do that, why use the belts to transport the coal? Why not wait to do that until I can, you know, actually fully automate the thing? So from here, I pretty much need to progress up the tech tree a little bit more. So now we're back about a little over half an hour later, after doing a whole bunch of coal, a whole bunch of iron, and now we're into copper. And at this point in the copper situation, talked a little bit about this before, but the mining of the copper is really slow. The smelter will work almost 3 times as fast as the miner, more than twice as fast. And so what that allows me to do is I can let it get behind. So while it's doing this and churning out its mining and crushing, I can wander back over here to where we have the coal situation and get some stuff done over here because I have the iron all set. And I also let this line partly fill up with coal. Reason being is that we're going to be using these a lot more intensely now. So I want to have, you know, fuel here ready for it to grab in reserve. So that's the idea behind that. Now what do I need to do? Well, I need a bunch of iron gear wheels. And I think I'm going to need 17 or 18 of these. I'll just bump up to 18 for this next little stretch. We're going to do some research first, but then we're going to need some other things built. Yep, didn't mean to do that. So that's actually one more than I wanted. I think I've got enough iron to get away with it. We'll find out. Okay, so then I want to build these. And how many do I want to build? Well, let's take a look at where we want to go with our tech. So we don't want logistics. What we want next is electricity, not for electricity's sake, although it'll be nice to get some very, very basic electric components, standard inserters, some electric poles, etc. But the main thing that we want to get is automation. It's our next step up that whole ladder to be able to do self-replicating. So standard automation here will give us our first electric-powered assembling machine, and we can build some firearm magazines, and we can build some better armor for ourselves to protect ourselves. And so there's some things that are really important there, and a recycling machine that we can't actually build yet. But leave that as it may. Okay, so that definitely needs to happen. But I need to get the electricity first. So we'll research that. Okay, well, in order to do that, we're going to need, and I should pause here to point out, we're going to need 25 for this and 50 for the automation. And there's nothing that electricity is going to give me by itself. Like, I can build electricity, but what can I power with it? Well, I can power an inserter. That's it. I could power an inserter. Well, I mean, that's not worth it. So we're just going to skip by that. We want to do both of these research bits. And so I need to have one of these for each, sacrificial electromagnet, red science I need to build. And I need 75 of them total, 50 for automation and 25 for electricity. So this is a significant push in research, and that's why I spent over half an hour gathering coal and iron, because I'm going to need it all. And so we can just sort of wait for these to bump through, and I need to get up to about 25 of them, and then I can have a full 100 in here and it'll finish up the rest. And there's nothing for me to be in a hurry about right now, because the copper is just over there, churning away, and I'll be plenty able to catch up with that. But by getting all of these done now while the copper is mining, the idea is I can only do it in a very limited form right now, but I can multitask without losing anything. So, why the heck not? There we go. Put that up there. That'll get us up to 75. Now we're going to run over here, and the lights on each side are interesting to me as it does this. So now we're going to pull back over here, and we come over. And okay, we've got almost 30 of these. We throw those in. We start pulling stuff out. And now we're back into the waiting game, because over on the left, well, that's going to be whirring away for quite a while to get to those all finished before I need to go back over there. This I'm going to be waiting on to produce the stereotype. I'm going to turn into copper. And so once again, it's back to hurry up. Still, just finishing up. Beautiful. That was good timing. I've got about a third of the copper in place now. I can pull these out and work on the electromagnetic coils, which take a while. But it's not as everything else I can do. So I need 2 of these for each red vial, aka sacrificial electromagnet. And so that means I'm going to need a total of 50 in order to get through the next research of electricity. So there's really nothing for it here but to wait for that to finish. There we go. This will be the last one I need. I've got 9 copper plates left. And in order to make these 48, I've used 24 copper plates up already. So now I want to get those going. And we can just throw these in there and walk away. I won't do that quite yet. But as this runs now that we've got fuel going everywhere, it can just throw them in there and away it goes. So that's all in place. And then I can run back over here to the copper situation and switch more stuff out, etc., etc. So now, basically, I've got all of the copper that I need. I'm sitting here with 40 some extra. Actually, I think I overdid it. And I can just wait for the rest of this to cycle through. I can have the work on mining out more coal while this builds the rest of the science packs, stuttering there, to get automation finished. So yeah, it's still a ways to wait on this. We can see we're only about half done, but at least I'm getting multiple things done at the same time. I can pick up some of this coal and get a head start on the next sort of push into research or grind into getting more materials or whatever you may wish to call that. So here, automation research has finished. So I'm just going to click that off so it's not flashing at me anymore. I've extended the loop just a bit here, right at about the same time, because this ran out and it can continue now putting coal on the line. It's just a little bit longer here. And it's time to see what is next. So we need to, we have a new assembler to build. Now I want to get to the regular assembler. Not there. There we go. We need an electric motor, the burner assembler, so we'll have to pick that up, and we need all the stuff to go with it beforehand. But in order to make that run, we need one of these, burner turbine generator. We need to get a stone furnace. Well, we have one. We need 4 electric motors. Electric motors are here. We need motors and copper cables. So we've got to do that. So there's a bit of work to get here. So we need 4 motors. I'll just start basic. I've already built those up, the gear wheels for it. And now we're going to need the copper cable for those. So we'll make 24 of those. 4 times 6 to get those ready. There we go. And now let's see about our... see if we've got everything ready for this. I didn't actually build the electric motors. That's what I didn't do. Okay. Easy to forget steps. That's why I always check it before I build it. What am I missing here? Oh yeah, I'm trying to do it in the assembler. That's why. Okay, but I have the 4 electric motors. I have the stone furnace in the quick bar, and I have the 5 iron gear wheels. So let's get that a-rolling. Okay, so now I want to put this right here next to the assembler. And this is our burner turbine generator. This is our standalone, very inefficient, as you can see on the right there, monstrosity. And it says there's water, but there actually is no water. That's just automatically generated by the unit to make it work within the game. Basically, it burns coal. It pollutes a lot. 40.5% efficiency, so that is pretty lousy. Now we need a burner inserter to put over there by that, but there's no reason why I can't just take this one. So I'll just slop that over here. And that's going to get it running. There we go. And after it gets a few of them in there, it'll stop doing this startup burn that it does. Usually. There we go. And now it's gonna store up. So it takes a little while, and the idea is that it's getting everything up to temperature. Now I need to connect it to stuff, so I need a pole. And I don't have a good automated source of wood, so we're not going to use small wood electric poles. We're going to use small iron poles. We need another copper cable for that. Alright. Let's get another copper cable. And an iron plate, and there we are. So we've got one of those. And now this can be hooked up, and I want to put it there so that it hits both this and it can cover that area to load stuff in, because I want to put an inserter, a regular inserter there. And as a matter of fact, well, no, I don't want to build that next. What I want to do is get this up to being functional. So what do I need for that? I need the burner assembler. I've got the 4 iron gear wheels. I need another electric motor, which means I need another regular motor, and I'm going to need more copper cables. So let's roll on that. There's the copper cable we're going to need. Let's get the motor first. And then the electric motor. And finally, let's make sure that we have everything. We have the electric motor, we have the 4 iron gear wheels. We do not have the burner assembling machine because it's standing right there. Let's pick that up. Nope, should have picked that up first. Okay, small error. Let's go ahead and clear that out. And build our assembling machine 1. So we've just upgraded it. There it is. So now we don't need coal to fit into that, and we're not going to need this either because we want a regular inserter over there. We can pull that out of the way. Let's get that regular inserter going. What does that need? 2 electric motors and the burner inserter. So we need 2 more electric motors, which means we need 2 more regular motors. Time to play this wonderful game again. And then of course we need the copper cable for the electric motors. Gonna need a total of 12. And there's all of that as the line is starting to fill up here. Make sure... Oh, I haven't actually made the electric motors. Let's get them in there. Alright. And there it is. 2 electric motors. Put the inserter in. And we've got ourselves a standard inserter, which now can run here. So now we have running on electricity. We've got an assembler and an inserter. Now it's going to be particularly important to make sure this doesn't run out over here at this point. So I'm going to have to watch that very carefully, making sure that I don't use this up. But I now have, electric powered stuff here. It still doesn't do me any good for automating the iron and copper input. I've just improved this from burner to electric, and that has to happen eventually anyway, because all of the further on machines, I need automation too, and all the further on machines are electric powered, so I might as well do it here. But I've removed some of the burner inserters and gone electric with this stuff. Okay, so now what's our next step in research? Well, we obviously want to go to automation 2, which is here. But we can't get there from here because we need to get electronics. So we need 15 for that and 75 for automation 2. So it's time for another resource grind, which will be of approximately the same length as the one we just did. How exciting! But we have made significant progress here in making these upgrades, and the next one will take us all the way up to Automation 2, self-replication, and then we can move on forward. So that will be exciting. I think I'm going to end this episode here, though, and come back with that next time. So thanks for watching Let's Play the Factorio Way. We'll have more coming up soon.